Okay, here we are, Backlash 2017. You know, the funny thing is, it seems like only 8 months ago we were talking about Backlash 2016. Anyway, our first match, the kickoff show match, is Tye Dillinger versus Aiden English. Right off the bat, Aiden English countered a shoulder toss by grabbing Tye Dillinger's hair and whipping him to the ground. He did this a couple of times. Another time, Dillinger went for his 10 punch in the corner, but English just ran off. At this point, English was kind of hanging out on the ring apron. Dillinger came after him, and he actually pulled Dillinger kind of off the ropes and did sort of a modified hangman spot with it. And at this point, English just locked on a series of chin locks. He actually began singing while he held the chin lock on. Eventually, Dillinger fought out of it, did his 10 punch in the corner. When I say the 10 punch, what he does is he does the 10 count punch where the guy is standing against the turnbuckles, but the crowd just chants 10 instead of just counting along to each punch. Dillinger went for a top rope splash, but English dodged it, recovered it, then hit a sort of a full Nelson into a face buster for a 2 count. But then English went for a top rope senton. Dillinger rolled away and then hit the tiebreaker for the 3 count. Overall, this was pretty good for a kickoff show match. It wasn't quite as draggy as I made it sound, but there were a few drag spots, but not too many to kill any momentum. Okay, our next match, the first match of the show proper, is Dolph Ziggler versus Nakamura Shinsuke. As Shinsuke was doing his entrance, Ziggler was pretending to check his watch through the whole thing, waiting for the match to begin. Right off the bat, Ziggler went for a single leg takedown, but Nakamura basically countered that into a headlock. Nakamura went for an arm wringer, but Ziggler countered that into a roll-up attempt. Ziggler hit a neck breaker through the ropes. Ziggler hit a drop kick for a 2 count. Nakamura began to fight back. He hit a big spin kick. He hit a running knee with Ziggler in the corner. Ziggler fought back again, hit a big DDT for a 2 count. Ziggler then hit a famouser for a 2 count. Then he hit the zigzag for a 2 count. Ziggler then countered a suplex and got a super kick on Nakamura. Ziggler then spit in Nakamura's face, and Nakamura got angry. He landed a series of kicks on Ziggler, then hit a big running knee with Ziggler draped across the ring apron. Nakamura then went for his flying knee. Ziggler countered that, went for a super kick, but Nakamura dodged that, hit the reverse exploder suplex, and then followed it with the Kinshasa for the 3 count and the victory. No real surprise here. I like the idea that Ziggler throughout the match was trying to counter the striking with a lot more chain wrestling. Unfortunately, that did kind of result in the match dragging a little bit here. It was an alright match, but not spectacular. Okay, our next match is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Usos versus the Fashion Police, a.k.a. Breezango. There was a Fashion Files skit to open everything up, where Tyler Breeze debuted his new undercover outfit as a janitor. Basically, as Breeze came out, then dressed up as a janitor, along with Fandango. Fandango and Jimmy Uso started things off. Fandango had a flying head scissors. He tagged in Tyler Breeze, who was, still, like I said, still in his janitor outfit, and he had a mop with him, and he began mopping across the ring. He used it to basically mop Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso tagged in, dropped Tyler in 1 punch, and then broke the mop. Jey tried to go for a splash, but Breeze rolled out of the way a bunch of times. Basically what happened was Breeze was lying down in the ring, like Jimmy Uso would go into the corner for his, or Jey Uso would go into the corner for his splash, but then Tyler would roll away, so Jey would then go to the other corner, and then Tyler would roll away again, and then this happened a couple of times. Let's see. Eventually, Fandango tagged back in. At this point, Tyler Breeze rolled out of the ring, and when he came back up, he was now in an old lady's outfit with a dress, and the whole time JBL was selling it first as a janitor, and now as a little old lady. Old Lady Breeze tagged in, hit a Bronco Buster on Jey. Eventually, Jimmy Uso tagged in, ripped off Tyler Breeze's dress, and he tried to throw it into the crowd. It didn't quite make it in the crowd. Instead, it landed on JBL, which he found funny at first until the other announcers also began poking fun of him. Then he just got angry about it. And he said it could be worse. At least he didn't fall flat on his face. Eventually, Fandango tagged back in. He had a big DDT for a 2 count. The Usos hit a double team move for a 2 count. Breeze tagged back in, hit the unprettier on Jimmy for a 2 count. There was some big schmoz that broke out. They got outside the ring. Fandango hit a suicide plancha onto the Usos and then rolled Jimmy Uso back in the ring. No, he rolled Jey Uso, back into the ring. He went for his guillotine leg drop, but Jimmy Uso pulled him down and distracted him. That was enough for Jey Uso to hit the super kick, knocking Fandango off the top rope. The Usos, Jey Uso recovers to get the 3 count and the win. The Usos retain. This was an okay match with some really great, funny high spots in this. Not entirely surprised the Usos retained. I would be surprised. Let me rephrase. I would be surprised if this is where the feud ended. I honestly think they're probably going to carry this on a little bit more, at least until the New Day arrive. Don't know if the Breezango is going to win the tag team championships or not. I think it would be kind of nice just to see someone other than either the Usos or American Alpha getting it right now. Okay, our 4th match is Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Right off the bat, Sami tried to do a test of strength with Corbin, but basically Corbin just waved him off. Zayn hit a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. Zayn drop-kicked Corbin out of the ring. Zayn hit a moonsault from the barricade, and around this time, Zayn started selling a back injury. Corbin began to fight back. He whipped Zayn into the turnbuckle. Corbin hit a spinebuster and got a 2 count. Zayn countered a running knee attempt with a big clothesline. Again, he started selling the back injury. Zayn went for a springboard into a cross body. Corbin then hit a, basically it was like a choke slam, except that instead of a choke slam, he went up and dropped Zayn down across his knee. Got a 2 count out of it. Corbin hit the deep 6 for a 2 count. Zayn, they began to brawl outside the ring. They got back in. Zayn got a quick 1 kick, knocked Corbin into the corner, and then enabled him to hit a haluva kick for the 3 count and the victory. This match was kind of ho-hum. Like, it had some nice spots. It was a decent match. I'm not going to say it was bad, but it was pretty by the book. Alright, our next match is the 6-women tag team match. Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Naomi versus the welcoming committee of Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina. Becky and Tamina started things off. Tamina blocked a sunset flip attempt and basically tossed Becky into the corner. Eventually, Charlotte and Natalya tagged in. They squared off for a while. Natalya clotheslined Charlotte on the ring apron. At this point, the welcoming committee began to isolate Charlotte. They did a lot of rapid tags. They pinned Charlotte back into the corner. Naomi eventually got tagged in and hit a cross body on Carmella. Naomi then dodged a Bronco Buster from Carmella. Carmella broke up a tag by pulling Becky down from the ring apron. Becky got the hot tag Natalya and hit Natalya with the Bexploder suplex. However, it's at this point that a kind of schmoz broke up, and that enabled Tamina to break up a couple of pin attempts that Becky Lynch had, enabling Natalya to lock on the sharpshooter, at which Becky tapped out. Welcoming committee wins. Not a great showcase for the women's division on SmackDown. I mean, there were points that it's okay. I mean, all involved are good workers, but yeah, this just was kind of boring by the book. This, I really hate to say this because it was the only women's match on the card, but this felt like it should have been the kickoff show match. It was not the greatest for that. Also, you know, no Becky, nothing really happened afterwards. There's no Becky Lynch heel turn, no Charlotte heel turn. Basically, I think it's just going to kind of be dropped. Okay, our next match is the United States Championship match. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Right off the bat, AJ kind of went for a quick roll-up. Owens began kind of kicking AJ around. AJ came back with a big drop kick. There was a nice spot where AJ was kind of lying on the ground. Owens was running in to do something, and AJ actually managed to catch him in a head scissors from that lying position. Owens broke up a springboard move and then began to basically throughout the match he was targeting the knee that was injured on SmackDown. AJ came back with an enziguri. AJ hit a clothesline followed by a running forearm. Not the phenomenal forearm, just a running forearm. AJ hit a faceplant and got a 2 count. AJ hit a Shiranui and got a 2 count. AJ went for a moonsault, but Owens countered that with a super kick and then hit the pump handle neck breaker for a 2 count. Excuse me. At this point, they kind of brawled out to the ring apron. AJ tried to hit the Styles Clash on the ring apron, but Owens fought out of it and basically wrapped AJ's knee around the ring post, and then he tossed AJ into the stairs. Owens then hit a bunch of cannonballs onto Styles' knee. AJ countered a fireman's carry into a top rope powerbomb. AJ then hit a phenomenal forearm, or tried to go for the phenomenal forearm, but his knee gave out. They began to brawl to the outside of the ring. AJ hit the phenomenal forearm from the ring keeper's area. He then tried to do the Styles Clash on the announce table, but then the announce table broke right in the middle, and that caused AJ to get his knee stuck, and that allowed Owens to run back into the ring and beat the 10 count to win the match. This was a really good match. Probably the match of the night. Probably the one drawback is that it ended on a 10 count. It's one of those, you can handle a disqualification, but a 10 count just kind of seems sort of cheap. Also, immediately after the match, Owens kicked AJ in the back of the head after he'd freed himself from the announce table. Okay, our next to last match of the evening is Erick Rowan versus Luke Harper. A pretty intense little match for what it was. Rowan started chopping Harper into the corner. Rowan, Rowan knocked Harper from the ring apron and into the stairs. Rowan hit a splash on Harper for a 2 count. Erick Rowan actually hit a very nice running drop kick at one point. Rowan hit a pump handle into a backbreaker. Then he started pulling Harper's beard. Rowan missed a top rope splashes when Harper started to fight back. Harper then hit a suicide dive onto Rowan and actually knocked Rowan in between the 2 announce tables. Harper came in and hit a big boot for a 2 count. Eventually, Harper hit 2 super kicks and then followed it with his discus clothesline for the 3 count and the victory. Not bad. I would have maybe had this one a little bit earlier in the match, maybe not right before the main event. It wasn't bad, but it just kind of felt a little out of place. Alright, our final match, the main event, the World Championship match, Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. Right as they were doing the introductions, not the walk down to the ring, but basically when they're doing the announcements for the, this is the World Championship, Randy Orton, the challenger, and right at that point, Orton attacked Mahal. Orton then tossed Mahal over the announce table. He managed to scare off the Singh brothers temporarily. Orton went for a quick RKO, but Mahal managed to roll out of the ring. Mahal lured Orton into a position where he could throw him into the LED board on the side of the ring. Orton then began stomping on Mahal, but he's selling the shoulder injury because Orton's got a bad shoulder that always pops out of the socket. So that happens a lot. Orton tossed Mahal out of the ring and then back suplexed him on one of the announce tables. Mahal came back and began hitting a series of knee strikes. Mahal then locked Orton in a top rope, basically a top hammer lock like this, again selling the shoulder injury. Let's see. Orton did a power slam and then the fallaway slam, began selling the shoulder injury even more. It's around this time the Singh brothers really began to assert themselves. Orton hit a backbreaker and began selling a shoulder injury even more. Orton called for an RKO, but Mahal rolled out of the ring. At this point, the Singh brothers really did kind of step up and began confronting Orton. At this point, that allowed Mahal to toss Orton into the ring post twice, but Orton fought back again. He hit the Singh brothers with back suplexes on the announce tables, and he flipped them up a little too high. Both of them landed on the back of their heads while they were on the announce tables. And after he did it with the second one, I think Sunil was the one he flipped up really, really high. And when he turned around, he saw this, like, he sells it as, oh, I blew that. You can see it on his face, like, it wasn't a wince, it was like, oh. And then he tried to sell it like, oh no, it's my shoulder, but no, he knew he blew the move. Orton back suplex, okay, he then went for the dual hangman DDTs into the ring, but that allowed Jinder Mahal to basically sneak into the ring and hit the Colossus for the 3 count, and the surprising victory, your new world champion, Jinder Mahal, the guy who basically lost the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because Rob Gronkowski interfered, and was feuding with Rob Gronkowski, a guy who's not even on the roster, is now the world champion. Bit of a surprise. Pretty darn good match, I thought. Decent pacing. Like, Orton would get the upper hand, but Mahal was easily fighting back. It's hard to believe that Mahal was actually the heel, except for the interference with the Singh brothers that kept happening. So my overall thoughts on the show, I thought it was mostly good for everything. Like I said, there are a few points where matches dragged. The Zayn Corbin match and the Ziggler Nakamura match were pretty good. It's just they really kind of hit these big lulls in the middle. Also, I would probably reshuffle the card a little bit. Harper and Rowan maybe should have been the kickoff show match. I would switch those two around. I mean, unless you wanted to switch, or the 6-women tag should have been the kickoff show match. I mean, if you wanted to have a women's match on the show, I guess that would be fine. But I would have had that maybe be the opening match on the show, or not the kickoff show match. I would have put the kickoff show match maybe more as the just before the main event. I think that worked better in that sort of narrative flow into this. But other than that, though, like I said, obviously not nearly as good as NXT TakeOver, but that was going to be hard to beat anyway. So I'm going to give Backlash 2017 a B. Okay, so after this, the next video up is, well, it's going to be the random trade review, Godzilla in Hell. So see you all then.